Do you know how the houses on Bikini Atoll came to be? It turns out they're all made from trash humans dumped into the ocean. One day, SpongeBob decided he wanted to see the surface. All the townsfolk gathered around, cheering him on. He took a deep breath, leapt upward, and with a big splash, landed face first in the muck. The crowd lost interest immediately. Thinking fast, SpongeBob wrapped himself in balloons and floated slowly toward the surface. But as he drifted through a swarm of jellyfish, a massive wall of dark, shadowy junk blocked his way. Human garbage, scattered everywhere. Curious, SpongeBob began exploring. He tied a bow tie around his neck, plucked a tune on an old comb, and wherever he went, trash tumbled down to the seafloor. A giant comb became a farming tool, a huge pencil turned into a tent pole, and the townsfolk treated every piece like a gift from the sea gods. One couple, desperate for a home, looked up just in time to see a soda can fall, their brand new honeymoon suite. Suddenly, an old man crawled out of the junk heap, calling himself the king of the sea. He hurled paper clips at SpongeBob. SpongeBob fought back, tossing junk that rained down on Bikini Bottom. The townsfolk cheered, believing it was another divine blessing. Some even tied wishes to balloons, sending them toward the surface, certain they'd come true. At last, the old man told the truth. A year ago, on his birthday, his friends gave him a bunch of balloons that carried him straight to the surface. Inspired, SpongeBob stacked the garbage into a makeshift ladder. Down below, the townsfolk panicked, thinking they had angered the sea god and needed to offer a sacrifice. But just then, the ladder of junk descended from the sky. Believing it was divine guidance, everyone started climbing. SpongeBob reached the surface first, becoming the very first sponge to ever make it up there. The crowd below erupted in cheers, hailing him as a hero. And then, under the weight of so many, the trash ladder finally collapsed. Do you know how SpongeBob draws a circle?
Well, first I draw his head, then I erase some of the more detailed features, and 1, 2, 3.
When Squidward saw it, he was so angry that he crumpled the paper into a ball. SpongeBob thought he was folding paper, so he casually folded a paper model of a sponge riding an octopus. Squidward immediately ripped the paper into shreds. Then, Squidward decided to show off his sculpting skills, giving a light tap to a stone, which instantly shattered. But SpongeBob sculpted a lifelike figure. Squidward was shocked, but he still insisted it wasn't art, that it had to be done according to the rules in the book. Heartbroken, SpongeBob felt he wasn't fit to learn art, thinking he should just go to the trash heap.
But I did deserve that! I deserve that too!
Then, a pink catfish, claiming to be a famous art collector, came to buy artwork. Squidward hurried to show his pieces, but the catfish didn't even glance at them, and turned around to see SpongeBob's sculpture. The perfect craftsmanship and details amazed the catfish, calling it a masterpiece of genius. Squidward immediately claimed the sculpture was his, but when he picked it up, he accidentally knocked the head off. To save face, Squidward told the catfish to come back tomorrow, promising he'd have an even better piece to show. After the catfish left, Squidward secretly retrieved SpongeBob from the trash heap and decided to give him another chance. Back in class, SpongeBob's circle wasn't as perfect as before, so Squidward insisted he try sculpting again. SpongeBob began hugging, sniffing, and even licking the stone, and finally smashed it down with all his might, turning the stone into rubble. Squidward completely lost it, starting to destroy everything around him. A few minutes later, the catfish returned, shocked at the scene. Squidward pointed and yelled, "It was SpongeBob!"
You, sir, are the greatest artist who ever lived!
Do you know that art is Patrick? Patrick casually picked up some paint and splashed it, creating the Starry Night, then hauled over a massive boulder, took out his hammer and chisel, and the Thinker statue was born. That day, the famous art critic Fred visited. Squidward confidently praised his own work, but when the curtain opened, Fred remained unfazed. He took off Squidward's artistic beret and said he was looking for a true artist. At that moment, Fred noticed Patrick working in the distance. Patrick's multi-eyed stone caught Fred by surprise. Not only did Fred give Patrick his beret, but he also handed him $10,000 to buy the stone. From then on, Patrick's creations caused a stir at Bikini Bottom, and the residents lined up to buy the multi-eyed stones. To everyone's surprise, the process was extremely simple. Just glue some eyes onto a stone, and voila, art was made. Soon, all of Patrick's multi-eyed stones were sold out. Back home, Patrick splashed more paint, creating another Starry Night, but still wasn't happy. He moved another giant stone, carved out a second The Thinker, but still wasn't satisfied and decided to break for lunch. Looking at a Krabby Patty on the table, inspiration struck. Patrick pulled 2 eyeballs from his pocket and placed them on the Krabby Patty. A brand new artwork was born. Its strong artistic vibe caught Fred's attention, and without hesitation, Fred bought it. In the end, one fact became clear. Art truly was Patrick's gift. Did you know that SpongeBob failed his driving test 1,000,000 times? The driving school examiner finally decided to blame the instructor and evaluate Mrs. Puff's teaching skills. SpongeBob arrived at the test site, but he couldn't even buckle his seatbelt properly. The moment the car started, he crashed. The examiner blamed everything on Mrs. Puff and fired her. But Mrs. Puff just smiled, because she no longer had to teach SpongeBob. Soon, a new instructor, Coach Shark, arrived at the driving school. He was extremely strict. No talking was allowed in class.
Does that mean...
No eating either.
Would anyone care for a bonbon?
I'll eat one.
No eating in my classroom!
And the other students all got scared away, leaving only SpongeBob completely still. When SpongeBob got behind the wheel, the coach immediately pulled him out, saying he had to pass the most basic tests first. Then he had him start by crawling, then walking, even running around the course blindfolded. Next, he had him dismantle a boat to understand its structure, but SpongeBob ended up building a rocket instead. After days of training, SpongeBob could navigate the entire course with his eyes closed. Coach Shark then called in the examiner. It was finally time for the real driving test. The moment SpongeBob was blindfolded, the coach quickly warned him, "No driving with your eyes closed." SpongeBob had to drive normally, but in the next next moment, he completely blew up the entire driving school. He completely lost all sense of direction, even removed the brakes, crashed into Mrs. Puff, stole Patrick's underwear, but once blindfolded, SpongeBob drove like a pro, weaving through the streets effortlessly, and finally parked the car perfectly. In the end, SpongeBob successfully earned his City Destroyer driver's license.
The nerve of some people.
SpongeBob suddenly grew a mean-looking face on his back, but when the mean face was finally removed, it ended up taking control of his grandma instead. That day, SpongeBob had plans to hang out with Patrick. He got in line early for the bus, but someone cut in front of him, and he missed the chance to ride with Patrick. Reluctantly, he let Patrick go ahead. Just then, Sandy needed his help with an experiment, and as soon as that was done, Mr. Krab came asking for help too. By the time he finished everything, Patrick had already gone home. SpongeBob lay in bed, feeling sad and wondering if he was just too easy to take advantage of. At that moment, Gary brought him a mean face sticker. The second SpongeBob put it on, he became sharp-tongued and rude. Anyone who spoke to him got snapped back at, and he even yelled at his grandma, mocking her for not knowing how to cross the street. When he went to the Krusty Krab and Mr. Krab asked him to work a 17-hour shift, he demanded overtime pay instead. When Sandy showed off her latest invention, he slapped it out of her hands. Gradually, SpongeBob realized the mean face let him say no to everyone, but it also alienated all his friends. By the time he came to his senses, it was too late. Everyone in Bikini Bottom hated him. Desperate, he went back to Sandy. Luckily, she managed to tear the mean face off and mailed it away. Meanwhile, SpongeBob rushed to apologize to his grandma, but when she turned around, he was horrified to see that the mean face had grown on her instead. Did you know that Patrick can make Krabby Patties too? One day, when Mr. Krabs picked up a coin that had fallen, SpongeBob suddenly burst through the door, and Mr. Krabs was launched out of the store, only to be hit by a falling piano. In the end, he had to go for treatment. He had planned to hand over the position of boss to Squidward, but Squidward quickly helped SpongeBob up, and just like that, SpongeBob became the manager. SpongeBob was thrilled. When Mr. Krabs returned to the Krusty Krab, bandaged from head to toe, he was shocked to find the restaurant still running. But when he saw that Patrick was the one cooking, he completely lost it. No wonder the food tasted so weird. To calm Mr. Krabs down, SpongeBob decided to step in and guide Patrick. However, Patrick couldn't stand the instructions, so he tore off his clothes and prepared to quit. Then he put a smile keeper on Squidward. Squidward couldn't take it either and angrily quit. The disgruntled customers started to lose control, but SpongeBob quickly came up with an idea. He turned himself into thousands of thin slices and spread them around the restaurant. At that moment, Patrick appeared out of nowhere, and when the wind blew, the slices were sucked into a fan, transforming back into a pile of SpongeBob fragments. The customers were so scared that they all ran out. Mr. Krabs completely lost it and tore off his bandages. To make up for Mr. Krabs' losses, SpongeBob promised to work for him without pay for life. Did you know that Mr. Krabs' mom is even stingier than he is? She insists that Mr. Krabs can only change the oil once every 3 years. And the most ridiculous part? She also forbids him from putting any paper towels in the bathroom. Even Squidward's work attitude got criticized by her. It turns out today was Bring Your Mom to Work Day. The three of them brought their moms to the restaurant to help out. SpongeBob's mom wanted to split the burgers apart while cooking them. Everyone objected, but surprisingly, the burgers turned out to be incredibly delicious that way. SpongeBob proudly presented his signature burger, only to be met with complaints from customers saying, "It doesn't taste like mom's at all." People demanded a refund from Mr.
You see, there is love here. My love for your money. You don't want to break us up, do you?
At the critical moment, all three moms agreed. Their kids weren't capable of running a restaurant, so the Krusty Krab was officially taken over by the moms. Mr. Krabs tried to protest, but he was shoved into a corner to reflect on his mistakes. Each mom took charge of her own area, providing meticulous service, and customers kept pouring in. Every customer left satisfied, and the three moms earned a year's worth of income in just one day. Meanwhile, SpongeBob and the others were enjoying motherly love in the basement. Playing games, having pillow fights, throwing darts, calling out mom, and instantly getting snacks and drinks, relishing a carefree return to childhood joy. SpongeBob thought he could finally retire, only to find the restaurant filled with lazy men doing nothing. That's when he remembered. It was Bring Your Dad to Work Day.
Oh, while you're up, son, could you refill my drink?
And more chips for me, kid. Anytime you're ready with that Krabby Patty, son.
Perhaps this is a true reflection of many modern families.